It's time for the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. Here with a load of laughs, info, and fun, it's Tony B, Dave B, and Timmy D.
Before I go alone. Don't ask me this and one more song. It ain't too costly, no, I ain't too cheap, so just relax. I'm on my knees.
Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen, episode number 98. Man, we're getting closer. My name is Tony B. Alongside me, as usual, is David B. and Timmy D. Today, we have a special guest, Timmy D. and Dave B. on our show, right? Special guest. Number one topic, trucking industry grapples with four-quarter slowdown. Number two, Union Pacific reaches sick leave deal. And then Timmy D's following up with speed limit increases. Man, we can go faster, and we can't wait to hear about that. The views of Ship's Gonna Happen are purely news-driven and do not express the views of any transportation provider or any business entity that uses any transportation provider. Timmy D.
Transportainment.
Kaboom! That's right, Transportainment. You can catch us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon, iHeartRadio. All the platforms. All you need to do is just Google Ship's Gonna Happen and you will find us. It is a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning here in the Midwest. Happy number 98, David B. Good morning.
Good morning, producer Tony. Good morning, Timmy D. Good to see the both of you. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. I was thinking on the way over here, I think it's only rained one time that we've done these in our 98 tries or in our 98 shows. It's only rained one time. All the other times it's been really nice. Anyway, good to see the both of you. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, in this episode, along with all of our other episodes, are brought to you by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Great place to go after a Ship's Gonna Happen week. Great place to go and unwind and kind of hear some good music, chat up with the locals, get a good meal, have some good cocktails. Great Divide, downtown Indianapolis. Proud to have them as a sponsor. Timmy D, it's so good to see you this Saturday morning. How are you, my friend?
Hello, boys. It's been a couple weeks. Good to see you guys. I tell you what, I got the glare coming right into my face. The sun is beautiful.
Yep.
We shut that?
No, it's fine. We're good. We're good. But little nippy, got up to 70 degrees in Indianapolis in the middle of February.
Set a record.
Set a record. Yeah, I heard that. So I think it was Tuesday, or I was downtown. I left the house with a coat on. I walked out after lunch. Like, it was kind of warm. I got home and it was 70 by 4 p.m. So, good deal, but good to see you guys. I look forward to discussing some of these hot topics out there, educate our own education to anyone that's listening, and maybe they can develop their own opinion on what we say. So,
and let us know.
What's up with you there, Tony B?
Man, good to see you, Timmy D and David B. 98, man. We're doing this a while. Third season, coming up on show 100. We got some plans with that we'll discuss. David, do you want to jump in there?
Oh, you know what? We're going to try to have a good 100th episode celebration. Invite some of our local guests that we've had on, Jeremy and Bill, and see who else can we get? We'll get Francois, Big Lefty, Matty Ice. Just kind of the list goes on and on. Some people that we're gonna try to find a gathering spot for all of us. We probably need to get permission and we're gonna just kind of we owe it to ourselves to kind of have a good 100th episode.
We're gonna get drunk, folks, and we're gonna do some day drinking.
If you guys can put up with me for 100 shows, you deserve a lot of alcohol.
Shots.
I'm gonna start drinking now so I can be in prime shape here in a couple of weeks.
Oh man!
So it'll be a good time.
Tuning up. Tim's gonna tune up.
We probably might need to ask permission.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to ask.
We're gonna
actually have to ask permission from
John to help us.
From Tony's grass calculator to make sure he can get out because by then it might be warm enough. He might be striping the lawn again.
It's growing. I can see new fresh seed out there sprouting. I'm telling you, I can see it.
What about footprint?
Well, I still got those Amazon footprint. I gotta fix those. I actually was gonna do that this weekend.
Amazon because they're big, or Amazon as in the company?
Amazon. Well, yeah, the company. Yeah, good point. They are using the driveway more. I noticed. But you still have that random one that comes right through.
You need to get you one of them boxes that you can set out that you give them a code and they put it in. You seen that was on Shark Tank?
Well, I thought about getting my drone flying up, and then as soon as they step 1 foot in the grass, nosedive down. Yeah. And be like, dude, I wish I had a microphone on it. Step back now. Step back now.
What you should do is take fishing line, put it in some stakes.
Put hooks on there?
Right at the very edge of your driveway. So the very first step they fall on. So that'll stop the rest of the grass, we would hope. And then you know what the kicker will be? If they're not smart enough or don't remember it on the way back, they'll fall right on the concrete.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, crap. Oh, man. Good.
Hey, we love everyone that delivers our packages. We're kind of joking. But be respectful to people's property, I guess is what we're getting at.
Go.
Exactly. Well, heck.
I would sit in this window and drink beer with you just waiting for that to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I would sit here and order packages by the day.
It's just send them to my house and come get them for you because they're yours. That's hilarious.
I'll do some grocery orders so the eggs break.
There you go.
Got the whole food service over here.
Yep.
But hey, guys, man, happy Saturday to you. We'll get into actually topic number 1 here.
Yeah, no gas. We're just going straight to it today.
All right, here we go. Boom.
Yeah, I failed miserably on the gas part. I thought I had a couple people, but nope.
Oh, it happens, right? All right, topic number 1. Trucking industry grapples with fourth quarter slowdown. All right, here we go. This article comes from Transport Topics. So I think Timmy D and I are seeing this more so than the customers would, but essentially, they saw the slowdown, right? The fourth quarter results in general weren't great. Jonathan Chappelle says Old Dominion did a phenomenal job, and Schneider in the truckload sector did a better than expected, but everyone else was basically in line to worse than expected for all reasons that we anticipated in coming. Slower volumes, price deceleration. Chappelle noted that carriers expressed optimism for the coming year as they anticipated a bottoming out of volumes early on, normalization of inventories in the second quarter, and bottoming out of pricing midway through the year. A lot of optimism about return to normalcy, and that was the thesis that most investors hung on to, Chappelle said. It didn't really matter if you had a great fourth quarter or a terrible fourth quarter. You were kind of thrown into that bucket. Things are about to stop getting worse and at least bottom before they get better. So Jason Seidel, who's a great industry person in the LTL sector and truckload, is saying, he noted that Q4 truckload rates dropped. David, you might be able to touch on that amid easing supply chain congestion, and predicts that rates may decline further in the first quarter as carrier bargaining power erodes. He also expects less than truckload rates to gradually abate. The fourth quarter went about as expected, as in terms of commentary that was coming out of both LTL and truckload players, Seidel said. The outlook remains challenging, but I think as a group, the truckers we're more optimistic on seeing a rebound as early as spring and as late through half the year. So they're saying might see a turnaround here in March, June, but no doubt by the half of the year. So it looks like it's been felt throughout the industry. Uber Freight's first quarter market outlook issued February 9th said that truckload supply outpaced the demand in fourth quarter. So they saw a little bump there. So we don't have any first quarter numbers yet. Those will come out soon, but it looks like they expect a rebound. From what Tim and I are seeing, the numbers we're up against in the LTL world from volumes from 2020, 2021, 2022. So welcome to 2023. Anybody got any comments?
So a little bit further down the page, on that page that you're on, Tony B, is an article that says January truck tonnage increases 1.5% year over year. So already into the beginning of 2023, we're starting to see a little bit of an increase, at least according to this article here. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I can see where we were going with that, and yeah, it's already 2023 is already starting off on a positive pace.
Yeah, that's what's can be kind of confusing though about the numbers. It's like if everybody, so what they're saying here is everybody in the fourth quarter, except two really, we're below. I mean, I don't know.
So we just did an article. The last time Timmy D was actually in studio where the truck tonnage had increased year over year for the last 13 years.
From the
which is
ATA,
mind blowing. Yeah.
the ATA, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't seem with them. How could everybody be reporting down?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
I mean,
right now you can hear a pin drop in the studio. Everyone's trying to put those numbers together.
Didn't we give numbers like a week or two ago? Again,
we've given them all. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying where those numbers were up though, Yeah.
If you
FedEx
take them,
was it billion.
Well, the one I had was if you took it to if you took COVID out, if you took COVID out, the carriers are way up from 2019.
Oh.
If you took 2020 out, 2021, 2022, took that impact of those numbers out and just said 2019 to now, we would be up.
So I think my personal spin on this is because of 2020, the spending / purchase habits have gone insane, right? These purchasers are scared that we may run into not be able to get it. Or if you look, the Fed has raised the interest rates
that's
the past 4 times.
Yeah,
so now they're worried that the cost of that sheet of paper that was 10 cents might go up to 12 cents. And when you're ordering 600,000 sheets of paper, you're still continuing to buy at a rate that you were buying in 2021, 2022 is my only thing behind that. Now, is all that sitting in a warehouse? Are these warehouses full? Absolutely. They're building warehouses out their butt right now just to store freight because no one's really buying it too much. But at the same time, they don't want to risk to double their purchase price. So they're going to still buy in bulk. That is the only thing that I'm seeing. Yeah. I'm with you, Tony. I feel like it's more of a softer, definitely. And typically what happens is, at least in our industry, when we start seeing tonnage go down or bill count go down, that typically means either A, you're just horrible at your job. And I have a little bit of ownership of that. But realistically, I think we see it 6 to 8 months before the United States economy sees it, right? Because these purchasers and these business analysts and everyone else that's predicting this, it's business people that are, okay, look, you're predicting to do this, so my purchase manager is going to do this because they just listened to you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so at what point do these purchase orders stop going from a 6 lot down to a 2 lot? And I feel right now they're back down to a 2 lot, even though we're reporting numbers at a 6 lot. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, I think the article.
I mean, have your purchase order people, have they changed their buying habits? Are they still buying big, massive purchase orders that aren't necessarily needed right now?
So to your point, Tim, yes, that is what's happening. And then what'll happen, and the vendors have to get pissed off at us because we'll order excessively, and then like a month into that, be like, hold on to that inventory. We don't want it just yet.
Right.
And then you're like, yeah, but we don't want it on our dock either. You ordered it. So, you got to take it. So yeah, that's what's happening. And you kind of get both sides of it. And the other side's, the vendor side of it, they're not too happy with us, making these big purchases, and they'll be like, can you give us another month before we take it? And they're like, no, you got to come get it now. So
he kind of alludes to that a little bit in here.
Okay.
Not exactly, but I think that's where he's talking about thinking things will stable out because of the imbalance was already there, right? So then like you order more. Mm-hmm. So in 2020 when people didn't get or in 2019 when people didn't really get their Christmas stuff for 2020, so then people over-ordered in 2021, 2022. And then he's saying here that also the inflation kind of is affecting us on the trucking side right now with people not getting loans, people not expanding at the rate they normally, that's kind of slowed down. But I think I'm glad just to hear that some experts think that, and it's hard to follow these people sometimes because Tim and I, you're not seeing it so much on your side, right? Because you got a nice niche market in what you guys do, mm-hmm. and you're kind of in a growth mode, and Tim and I are always we're contingent to you, kind of your growth on your side,
right?
The customer. And if you're not seeing that, which some sectors definitely are not seeing that, but it looks like for trailer orders, it still seems like those people are backed up, man.
Oh yeah, couple years.
Yeah. So nuts and bolts and the people that do all that stuff for those will be busy for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I got a customer on the east side that, to your point, on the purchasing, they've got a customer that pays for everything that comes into them because they have a particular, they do 3 lines for this absolutely ginormous company. They do 3 major lines for this company. And so they just keep ordering their purchase order from this company into them to supply their plant. They can't make it. They don't have the bodies to do it. Then they're telling them, look, we're not making this anymore. Like they don't care. They just, because they've ordered these so far in advance, right? So a lot of stuff they're getting in 2023, they ordered in 2022.
Wow.
So there's no, they've already cut the check.
Right.
So these things just keep coming in, and it's coming in via us, and we're combining on a trailer and taking a whole trailer, and it's sitting in their yard for 2 weeks. They got nowhere to go, to the point that my inbound guy is looking to purchase warehouse space to just have all this freight right up there to sit there on the shelves, because this large company has already purchased all this stuff.
Right.
And to your point, the people that are manufacturing that, pumping out the raw goods, they don't want it on their dock. It's already paid for. Get it off. So at the end of the day, it's this person that has to produce said item. So they're kind of the middleman, right? But you don't want to piss them off because there's so much of your business.
Yeah.
Right. They do probably 40 to 50% of their business themselves is relying on this one company.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I'll just bend over and take it. You know what I mean? Literally.
Right.
And I'm like, all right. And I'm telling my guy, I'm like, who am I charging storage to? Like, we got to have our trailers back. And he's like, well, don't piss them off. Like, they're willing to almost eat the charges at this point because they don't want to piss off their biggest customer.
Right.
We did have last week, and then again this coming week, we did have POs that I brought in from certain vendors that the POs were placed last June, and we're just now getting them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So this, we need to come up with, after all these shows, and we try to not throw any companies underneath the bus. We try to not name drop on companies. We should have made up like 4 different names of companies and always use them as the examples.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what we should come up with. That's what the 100th anniversary, I'm going to introduce 4 brand new companies out there you never heard of.
Right.
That's what we're going to go with.
Is Uranus going to be one of them?
Ooh.
I was trying to think of
Uranus Inc.
The Timmy D something or I don't know what I'm coming.
Timmy D Enterprises.
There we go. Boom.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
TDE.
I like it.
David LLC.
There you go. You're right. Yeah.
He's always a limited liability.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that.
Timmy D.
So, Tony, going back to a part of what you said, that the truck rates are coming down, not quick, but you see a little bit of a hedge with some lanes. So yeah,
and fuel's come down too.
Yeah, I think it has. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Volume rates have come down in our side industry. Yeah,
there's definitely capacity. Yeah. I have a lot of people. There's definitely capacity in the market space, but I think that trucking companies are still being choosy a little bit.
Did you add equipment at where you work? Did you guys add equipment? Because what I'm thinking is we just get the other thing too is what you're saying is we may have just bought so much equipment now that we can't fill. Too. I mean, we bought equipment over the last.
But your company's like we
3 years.
These purchase orders were in years ago, right?
I know.
19, 20.
Right. But we got
21.
some. We didn't get what we wanted, right? And then, so now we just don't have, and the panic sets in because you buy.
That's
10,000.
I should have bought into Wabash trailers or something back in 2020 when it crashed.
I know.
But I don't know. It's interesting to see that the purchase habits still actually are happening, but I do foresee that slowing by minute.
I expect us to a growth year again this year. I think it'll be another positive.
You guys will.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You're already kind of seeing it at the beginning of this year. Not as strong as it was last year, but you're seeing the growth, and you're seeing us to try to bring on new business, new customers, and I think it's going to be all right.
I ask ourselves in our LTL environment, how many of us LTL providers out there back when we had the ball in our court, because I feel like the ball's in the middle of the court now. When the ball was in our court, I think we really went after yield. I feel like every company in middle of 2021 and pretty much all of 2022, probably all of 21 and 22, really held the ball in their court, and they were shedding business and they were keeping business they wanted, but yet giving them even more price increases. Everyone got price increases. Yeah. I mean, was there there was 4 GRIs within 2 years.
It was the perfect time to right size your carrier if you could.
Yep. And that's exactly what right size your carrier. That is well said. Absolutely well said, Tony. And I think that's a lot of people. Now there's capacity out there. And so it's like, oh, I knew you come back and beat on my door again.
Oh,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And
you're
it's
definitely
like,
seeing that.
now what are you going to do to get me back on your trucks? Right.
Yep.
It's like that. What you had before is not good enough.
Right.
Because you ousted me.
Right. And I think that speaks to, like, I'm seeing some people starting to use more carriers than they normally did in the past. And I think it's because they got trapped in during that COVID and they felt safe with that one because you really couldn't go anywhere.
I'm actually looking to shrink mine.
Dang. Well, what?
Yeah.
Well, David,
I have
Shrink
over the
shrinkage.
I mean, cold. It happens with cold weather anyway.
You should jump in Tony's pool right now.
right.
I guarantee you'll shrink that.
It was a pool. It was the pool.
that was a great episode.
But over COVID, I mean,
so you're looking to shrink yours,
themselves.
but I feel like I feel like most of my customers are looking to. They're open to whoever comes in that door right now.
Well, you know, me being an old school guy the way I am, it's just I'm disappointed as hell. I mean, all you're gonna do is be like, hey, what more can we do, and then make a phone call or send an email. I just don't think that that's enough to just make me want to grow my carrier base.
Right.
It's just not worth it. It's just the way I am. So
Yeah, and everyone does business different, right?
Mhm.
So that's interesting. But he's on a growth year. Well, you and I feel like we're probably going to have some serious capacity come quarter two, right? You know that we had 2 ice storms that hit this daggone nation that people don't realize how much that screwed up the entire network across the flow. You just had 3 feet of snow dumped in Minnesota, all across that nation last week.
California's in a blizzard.
North California is getting it. San Diego had snow, did they not? That's what I thought I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So just weird crap that's happening. It always happens. February, if you can get through January and February, typically you're looking pretty good. But St. Patty's Day is about the day.
Yeah.
Here
we go.
Ooh,
And like Tim said, you know, people don't listen. People don't. I mean, if something happens in LA or Minneapolis, weather related wise, or Dallas, you know, the weather does Dallas. I mean, it affects everywhere. It affects everywhere. So
it does, because you got to start putting in diversions. You're trapping a lot of extra freight, and people don't realize how long it takes to dig out of that. So good topic, Tony. It's interesting. Well,
and the one thing I was going to tell you guys here too is, remember all those containers we were watching?
Now there's a surplus.
So remember all the ones that were sitting off port?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like 20, 30 now.
So we're back to nothing, huh?
Yeah, it's back.
Good.
So
but that shows you that the purchasing is starting to slow.
Right.
Yep. Exactly. Did you guys see that another autonomous trucking company folded?
No, I didn't see that.
I saw Uber's running some.
Are they really?
Uber's
running autonomous?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got?
It was a Pittsburgh-based autonomous company, Locum. I think I'm saying it the right way. This week shut its doors.
Really?
They were in partnership with Ford and I want to say Mitsubishi, but I don't remember if that's right. And just based on financing,
we don't like autonomous here.
But unable to get money and backing financially, they were forced to lay off all 80 employees. So it's unfortunate that somebody's lost their job.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a lot of truckers going to lose them jobs.
Right. So, So another one. There was one, and this one was Pittsburgh based.
Another one bites dust, and another one's gone, and another one's gone. Another one bites dust. All right, David B, hit us.
So this one won't take too long. It's Union Pacific, and this actually comes to us from FreightWaves, dated February the 20th. Union Pacific has reached sick leave agreements over the weekend with 2 unions. Are there 12 unions, 10 or 12 unions?
Yeah.
And it said that the agreement goes into effect April the 1st and will give employees 7 paid sick days. So
congrats.
It only took that extremely, $4 or $5 billion a year company X amount of years to give 7 paid sick days. So.
I think really what it took, is that couple rail derailments, right?
There's been a bunch.
A couple, there's been.
But to Tim's point, That wasn't just Ohio. I mean, there was one in Michigan.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there were one in Texas. There was one in Michigan. There was one in
L.A. just happened.
L.A. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and the one in East Palestine actually, they have video of it now, miles before
hold
it even
on.
got there.
I want to put a timeout. I need a 30-second timeout. Did you say East Palestine
Yeah,
or Palestine?
you say Steen, I say Stein. Let's call it.
That's because he's
let's all
from
call it
New
a day.
Palestine.
Let's call it a day. Is it Steen?
Is it Steen or Stein?
I don't know.
Can we?
I just
say
like listen
East
to all
Pal?
the different news networks because how
What
they
does
say
that mean?
Palestine
Yeah.
or Palestine. I'm trying to think. So out where we live at, which
Yeah.
is New Palestine or Steen, right?
Oh,
If you're from here, it's New Palestine.
right.
But if you're not, everyone on the
Stein.
map calls it Stein. So I like
Right.
to listen to these news anchors
know.
because I'm like, how will they say our town if we
Can
have a
we call it-
derailment?
Yeah,
That's what I. All right,
exactly.
sorry, go ahead.
Can we just
No.
call it East Pal or no?
East
We can
Pal.
call it East Pal.
Maybe they
Okay.
call it East Pal. Maybe that's what the
Maybe they do.
locals do.
I don't know.
They were
East
saying
Pal?
they were saying those brakes were on fire for like a mile.
You know what? Next
Yeah.
week, I'm going to try to get one of those people as a guest.
Oh, if you do that, get the mayor.
All right. I'll
Get
work
the
on
mayor.
it.
You
He
see-
probably
I'll
would come
work on
on.
it.
Have you seen the mayor?
Yeah, he probably would come on.
I have not.
He's a big one. He's a big
Okay.
dude.
All right.
I would
Yeah.
love to drink a beer with that dude.
I
That's
would
all
too.
I'm
He seems
saying.
like he's fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
yeah.
So this article
He's
goes
large
up,
and in charge.
Okay. Going back to
He's a
the
good dude though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, nice. Going back to the article, the other unions are still trying to come to an agreement on sick days and stuff. So, and then also, not only is this with UP, but also CSX, where they're trying to come to agreements on sick days with
Because
the
they didn't
railroad
have sick
unions.
days, right, David? And that was
Correct.
the big complaint. And
Yeah.
and then now you're saying 10 or 12 of them do. 10.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's always been difficult for a railroad employee, and we've had railroad employees on our show in
Yeah.
the past, to
Had
take
a
a
great
sick
one.
day.
Yeah.
Even if you're gone, even if you do get a sick day, it's just not, it's frowned upon. It's just kind of messes things up, where, excuse me, it's in a world where it's just kind of not easy to do.
Well, because the gentleman we had on said that they have streamlined the body count there so bad
Yeah.
that there really is no coverage.
Right.
And
Well,
so you got a guy that or gal works day, one works night, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just pretty much that's the way it is. And
you have one engineer or conductor. What's the
yeah,
word?
you used to have two. Now there's one. I mean, this is
I thought. Yeah, I don't know. So it was the derailment and that everyone, the nationwide derailment was on Northern Southern, right? That's that right?
Norfolk Southern.
Norfolk
Yeah.
Southern.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but they were. Is it one or two conductors?
Well, remember a long time ago we did the story on that if you parlayed the Union Railroad into a football team, they would not have quarterbacks. They would be so low in the quarterback ranks, which were the conductors, because they used to have a couple on. Tim, I think they only have like one.
So,
No.
here, what would a conductor do differently? You're not going to see that brake drum on fire underneath.
Well,
right? That's a pre-trip and a post trip.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's maintenance, ain't it? No offense
Yep.
to you. Shout
you-
out Big Bill, but
you'd like to know if they were notified at
I'd
what
like to
point.
get his opinion too. I'd like to know what he would think on a brake, because it's the same thing on trucks. I see it all the time.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say I see it all the time, but I have seen.
I have seen it too, where they
What-
smoke and
Well, it's red hot.
yeah,
You can literally see the drum red hot
right.
and on fire. I've seen it.
Now that's a fact.
So I don't know how you would see that on a train.
Well, they have cameras, and they have cameras when they go by certain points, and they have alarms that go off.
Really?
Yeah, and there was an alarm that went off that told them that.
And that dude was sleeping.
something. I don't know. I'm not claiming that. I don't know that to be true. I know
You
that
heard it
they
here first.
so-
Tony B
No.
on the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast
Yeah.
So-
is now blaming this all
Yeah.
on.
So so like last year, Norfolk,
me.
you're fine. Norfolk Southern shelled out $7 billion to its shareholders. Instead of shelling out $7 billion to your shareholders, how come why don't you just hire some more employees?
I
or
mean,
whatever?
that's dude. I mean, it's sad.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How much is that stock? Has it gone down?
Oh,
I'm ready
it's-
to buy right
I
now.
think
$7 billion?
They all took a hit yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Um,
stock market was bad. So speaking of that, so our senior in high school, he's in econ, and they had to buy stocks and whatever, and it's a big, it's the senior project that everyone does, and so I gave him some stocks. I'm like, dude, you got to buy these, whatever. And he goes, well, if we would have closed out Thursday, I would have made 13,000. But because we closed out yesterday, I lost 400. I'm like, that's because the stock market took a hit yesterday. He was so pissed off.
A
Or
mere
Thursday versus
a mere $224.77 a share up.
It's back up after Mayor Pete visited.
Up 86 cents.
Mine shows down.
Yeah, I'm looking at 244.77.
What are you
After
looking at?
hours,
Are you
it's
looking
down.
up today? Is that 1 day, 5
It
days?
says today.
Oh, so it's up today off market. So what did it close out on Friday?
221. Maybe not. I don't know. It says 221.99
Well,
here.
I might be able to get a half a share
Today's open
today.
225. So it's up and after hours.
Yeah, but it's Saturday, right? So that you won't know that number till Monday.
If you're going to buy it right now after hours, that's what's going to be.
I'm gonna wait until they got to learn. Here's when you're gonna want to buy the stock, folks. As soon as a settlement comes and they got to put a check into every resident in East
You want to sell,
Palestine
right?
or EPAL, when they got to pay EPAL a settlement check, that is when you want to buy, folks.
That's a good point.
Steam.
Steam.
Yeah, that's.
I would sell on Monday and look to buy come June or July.
So that's all I got on that story. So.
Man, it's
That's
good
it.
stuff,
But
David.
I am going to work to get somebody. From
Yeah, you know what? If
East
we could get
Pal.
someone on, that would be huge. To get the mayor on or somebody.
That mayor.
Yeah, Aaron Brockovich is there now too.
Mhm.
Remember her from the 60s or 70s, 80s? Always.
Isn't
Yep.
Brockovich? Isn't that a comedy TV series? The baseball announcer Brockovich. What am I missing here?
I don't know.
You're right.
I've never heard
Dirty
of
old
it.
man that was an announcer for a baseball team that always had the girls and drank the hard liquor.
Hank Azaria is the
Brockovich or something. That was it.
Was that the name of it? I never watched that.
Brock? Tim
Brockmeyer.
That's it. Tim's right. Yeah,
Brockmeyer.
Look at
That is
me,
a
and I don't
good-
know anybody.
That is, yeah, me either. I mean, that's a good show. Kind of a
Brockovich.
I've
washed
never
up.
watched it.
He's a minor league
Dirty old man.
public address
Is he?
announcer for a minor league baseball team.
Yeah, but he's sex, drugs, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Eastbound and Down kind of humor.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
makes sense.
Yes, or I was going to say the sales rep in the freight world, but whatever.
It's a special kind of humor.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you that know, you know.
So that's
right.
not the thing is the news is beating the crap out of it because that is the lowest hanging fruit.
It
right?
is. Yes.
There's a bunch of other derailments out there if you want to
Yep.
look them up.
Yep.
They're all over the joint
Well,
right
shit,
now.
though, man. 45,000 species have died.
I saw a meme the other day. It says "Out with the spy balloon, in with the train derailments."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, what's next, right?
Yeah.
Did you know, just a quick topic, that they now admitted that they watched that spy balloon on the U-2 spy plane?
Oh, I'm sure they've watched it since
They
day
watched
one.
it from when it launched. Why in the hell would
Yeah.
they let that thing fly over the country, knowing when it launched, tracking it on the U-2 spy plane?
Tim just said why, because it's low hanging fruit and it's like, hey, look over here. Here's something to be paying attention to while something else is going on.
Well, I think that's obviously why, but would you still let a
Lot of
reconnaissance balloon go across your missile silos? I mean, it's pretty goofed up, man. They would have looked a lot better shooting thing down over the Pacific Ocean than letting it get.
Here's my thing.
It's
So
stupid, man.
to your point, yeah, it's a distraction. Everyone's focused on that, and all this other stupid crap's going down. But I would hope our United States intelligence has a whole lot more security and cover up than what that camera can figure out.
Right.
Hopefully, we're ahead of times. We're going to find out one way or the other. Either we
Would
are or
hope.
we are not.
Mm-hmm. Would hope.
So I don't know. Let's not get into
Well,
politics.
they're-
Let's move on.
Their answer was they wanted to. What did they say? They wanted to make sure it was safe.
Yeah, it was safe. By the time they figured out they wanted to shoot it down, they wanted to make sure it was safe because there's so many things going down in Montana.
Here's a funny story though. Last thing about it. Do you know how it first was reported?
A reporter in Montana.
Well, yeah, he looked out his window.
Yeah.
Of his office and was like, what is that? Right. And then started taking pictures. It's just so weird that would be the first
Someone that saw it.
NORAD, somebody wouldn't report it, some
They
airport
probably reported
wouldn't
it, but they
report
probably
it,
didn't want to
expose it.
Yeah, it's airport's all federal.
Yeah,
That's all Fed. They're all going to keep that hush hush. But you think word of mouth with all these. My other thing, why the heck did we shoot it with the daggone missile? Why not? I'm sure. Can we not be like Spider-Man and throw a web over it to grab it? You know what I'm saying?
Send some 50 cal bullets just to shred it so it floats down.
And then when it gets down, why can't you send some parachuters out to go and grab it? Like, why are we digging it off the bottom of the sea floor?
We might have paid China to launch that.
There it is. I knew you had some sort of button over there.
Timmy D, tell me I can drive faster in this great vast country of ours. I want to increase my speed.
What happened to our elevator
pretty good.
music? Just wondering.
Oh, you like that?
No. It's okay. No. Just
Oh, that's the wrong button there. There we go. That's what David wants. Hey,
Welcome to an episode of Tony playing with his buttons.
hey, it's rated X. Timmy D.
I don't even want to get to my topic. I want to hear more buttons. All right, so here comes from landline.media is the article I kind of looked up or hit with, found somehow. LL Low or LL Now. I don't know. Anyways, bills in 3 states call for speed limit changes. So obviously the first one that strikes me, or how I got the article, is Indiana. Indiana has a lot of highways out there where the speed limit for regular passenger vehicles is 70 mile an hour and the trucks is 65. We've talked many times about the insurance and the regulators and governors and whatever you want to call it. So the bill, there's 2 different bills that's going on in the state of Indiana right now. One is to take care of the toll roads and some of those bigger passageways, highways, where it's 65, 70. And the independent OOIDA, which is the owner-operator independent group, is saying it's unsafe, that we need to make trucks go the exact same speed as regular vehicles. It's done nothing by reducing the truck speed to increase safety on the roadway. So they're actually saying it's kind of to that law of Indiana, the impedance law, where if you're in the fast lane, you're holding up traffic, you're going to get pulled over, regardless, because you have to go with the flow, because it's a safety issue. And we kind of talked about that and hinted to that. So that's kind of the bill that's out there. And then we got a couple state roads in Indiana that I guess the truck speed limit is 55 when the regular cars are 70 mile an hour. Like State Road 24, State Road
31, I think 31,
24, 25, and State Road 30. So they're trying to move the speed from 55 to 70 on those. They're saying it's stupid to have it that low. I should say stupid, but basically 2 on Ohio border, one between Lafayette and Logansport, and one between Huntington and Logansport. I guess 25's on there too.
Yeah, I've been up there, yeah.
South Carolina is trying to do what Indiana has already done, that they passed a few years ago, which is the slow moving, impeding traffic, where you're in the fast lane law is what I call it.
Yeah.
Basically prohibits any slow moving vehicle. They need to merge to faster traffic at the end of the day. So and South Carolina's got some very deep roots there. And then they also, this is crazy, this blows my mind. In South Carolina, apparently, so they have 70 mile an hour zones on their highway, and then the slow speed is 45 mile an hour.
No way.
Like that's ridiculous in my opinion. Can you imagine a truck going 70 mile an hour and have to slam on its brake because they can't judge a 45 mile an hour car?
That's unsafe.
It has to be. So they're
literally
only
speaking.
They're only going to move it to 50. They're moving it from 45 to 50.
Ooh.
Wow.
So I don't know what the 5 mile an hour difference at that point is. Right? I would think it would be 55 at the minimum. Right.
Yeah, you would think.
And that's because if a car has a flat tire, those type of things that they're trying to get to the next exit, right? Instead of calling a tow truck. So that's, and or you just trying to keep that slow traffic off. Here's their holdup right now is because it makes sense. Think about it. You got new speed limit. You got all new postage signs.
Yep.
So just on their law alone, it'd be 230 signs. It would cost them $200,000 for new signs.
Wow.
That doesn't include the labor to put it up.
Labor.
So imagine if Indiana changes all theirs, just the cost that goes in by just changing that. It's kind of weird. And then West Virginia is trying to bump West Virginia is going a whole different route.
The great state of.
West Virginia,
Someone's got a.
Home of
the Purple Fiddle.
Oh yes, the Purple Fiddle.
David's got a WV shirt on.
Yes, he does. He loves the Mountain Bears.
So they're going to increase theirs just up to 75.
They're going from 70 to 75. So they're like, y'all, that's how far in the back South Carolina, Indiana is.
There you go.
One of the interesting reads I had here, though. Here we go.
Are you calling me backwards?
I'm going to ask Tony B. East of the Mississippi River. East of the Mississippi River. Can you name me the only states that have a above 70 mile an hour posted speed limit on any roadway they have?
Florida.
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay.
Tennessee.
Okay.
That's all I know.
None of those. Maine and Michigan are the only ones that have 75 mile an hour zones. Womp, womp, womp.
I wish you guys could have watched Tony give these answers and just as non. Yeah, I know the answer.
No, he kind of was. I think he was kind of guessing the South because it's kind of rural. Like Georgia's huge, right? There's got to have
Florida for sure.
Yeah,
right?
you think on those toll roads in the middle of the state.
Michigan and where again?
Maine. So Maine's got some
Michigan,
really.
I never would have guessed that.
Well, both two would have nothing but ice 6 months a year, right? But they have such wide open when you get into that sector when it's nice out that Maine has some of those long stretches that they got it up to 75. I know out west.
So west of them, they do. West of the Mississippi. Go ahead.
Yeah, west of them. Go ahead. Talk about west of Mississippi.
You probably, I know there's some out there. Like,
they're 80 mile an hour.
Yeah, Kansas, you could drive 75. And then Colorado.
80, Wyoming, it's
80. Yeah.
It's 80. It's a minimum of 70.
Mm-hmm.
And is it this great state of Wyoming? One of the states, I don't know if it's still there, used to be a law that if you got a ticket that day, that ticket was good for the rest of the day.
Oh,
you could only get one speeding ticket a day.
Oh, yeah.
So you get pulled over again, you just show you already had the ticket and you move on with your life.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Wouldn't that be?
Yeah.
I'd have a little thing on the back of my car, had like an antenna, and I'd raise it like a flag.
Yep.
So the cop could see it.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
So I just thought it was interesting. We talk about safety a lot on here, insurance and all that type of things. The insurance right there, it takes it out of the company, the insurance to negotiate because, like I gave that story probably on episode 22 about a driver complaining going all the way out to Crawfordsville and he needed his truck to stay up with because we had a 60 mile an hour governor. He was going to get run. He was a safety hazard,
it's
right?
Dangerous. I
we
think.
took it to the shop. We had to get all kinds of special release from the company to move his tractor to a different release the governor up to whatever.
How long did that take?
Almost a year.
Really?
Yeah. But I felt his complaint. You know what I mean? And now me as a city manager, I care about safety. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted him to move faster too.
Well, yeah.
And it's not going to help me out. I mean, the 10 mile an hour on the highway wouldn't help me out much more. But I see because I hate the trucks that get. I'm like, this is a safety issue.
Oh, it is a big problem. I hate it. So Tim, David, do you think that so we're such a energy supposedly conscious, if we're increasing these speeds, aren't we using more gas?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you.
I just wonder. I don't know.
On my truck, we went down, my truck, we went down to Florida a couple years ago, and I drove about 85 mile an hour down there, 80 to 85.
Mm-hmm.
On the way home, she drove most of the way, and she's doing 95 because she's nuts. She got better gas mileage than I did going 75 to 85 mile an hour.
Really? In the truck?
In the truck. Maybe because it's already at that top speed, the RPMs don't go up much, and you're getting 10 more miles per hour.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just telling you, when we went to fill up, I'm very religious about resetting my thing every time we filled up.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way down, I think I got like 18.6, 18.9. No crap. She driving like a maniac through Nashville. I mean, just flooring this thing. Boom, boom, boom. We go to fill up, and she's at 19.9. She got one more gallon or one more mile per gallon than I did.
The Lindsay D School of
Well,
Driving.
Yeah, you seen her drive. She don't mess around.
Well, listen to this.
That's nuts to me.
Time to get to getting.
This is
Get
Department.
to getting.
Lindsay D is like, get out of the way.
Lindsay D. There you go.
Lindsay D Defensive School of Driving or Offensive School of Driving, whichever.
Go ahead, Tony B. Go ahead, hit us.
Well, here, Tim, you might be right. It says speeding increases fuel consumption and decreases fuel economy as a result of tire rolling resistance and air resistance. While vehicles reach optimum fuel at different speeds, gas mileage usually decreases, but not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know what the right math is. All I know is I was blown because I'm like, gosh, man, I got 16 and a half miles a gallon. I'm going to fill this thing up.
Right.
Sure enough, she's like, what? I'm like, just nothing. You don't understand.
That's crazy.
I don't know what the right answer is, but I just, it's interesting that we're in a safety conscious mindset.
And we're jacking it up, yeah.
And we're going to jack up and I agree with it. I agree with it 100%.
Well, you probably have more people on the planet. So if you more people in the cities, more people on the highways. I mean, I think in Indiana, they pretty much drive whatever speed they want anyway. I mean, I'm noticing that lately, like, holy cow, dude, you think you're like a car.
I set my
yeah.
speed limit at 5 over on the interstate just to go. I get ran off the road at 5 over.
Yeah.
Doing 75 miles an hour.
We're like an old men drivers now.
I'm doing 5 miles an
He's
hour.
giving me the stuff.
I don't quite drive like that.
I
need
I'm
to.
gonna
Timmy
go.
D coming around us, giving us the finger.
These young whippersnappers.
Or scaring you with my horn.
Yeah.
I have used my horn this week. I bet I used my horn a dozen times on idiots this week.
At lights or at everywhere?
Do you ever-
Lights. Mostly lights.
Yeah, because
ever-
people are get off the stupid
it's
cone
bad,
and
man.
drive.
It's
Or lack of
bad.
turn signals. I can't.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That is laziness to me.
I know.
You're the same people that don't return your cart. You're the same daggone
Yeah.
people that you throw trash out the window.
Yep.
You're the same person that's got newspaper stacked up on your window with McDonald's wrappers.
Yep.
Gosh dang it, use your damn signals.
Mhm.
They're free.
Well said.
They're free.
Well said. That needs to be a clip. That sounds
Laziness, right?
It is. It's
doing it.
complete laziness.
It is.
Man,
If you were my kid, I'd snatch you by the back of the neck. Boy, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be driving
One
my
time
car.
only.
Yeah. Damn. Good stuff.
I got a golf cart and I use my signals on that. And if I don't use the ones there, I use my arms.
Yep. Yep.
No, that's very good, Tony B. Let's hit the random thoughts so we can get out of here. I got grocery shopping to do.
David B. with those random thoughts this happy Saturday morning. Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen, episode number 98.
Yes.
David B. Random thoughts.
Random thoughts, floor 10.
You said, what's the dude that used to have the love connections?
Oh, Chuck
Yeah,
Woolery?
yeah.
Yes.
Chuck Woolery. And you're lovely and prized
So-
too.
So this week, on all of my years, even as a young teenager, the one concept I've never been able to understand, and I still can't understand, the concept of Ticketmaster. I don't get it. I don't get how they recorded $16.7 billion in profit last year. I take my lovely
that's a
wife
good random
to
thought.
Fort Wayne this past week to see
Yeah.
the Buddy Guy concert.
Yeah.
Tickets were $49 a piece, and it ended up charging me $130 for 2 tickets.
Yeah.
I do not understand that. For a digital effing ticket,
Right.
it was literally push a button transaction.
That software
I just don't
and
get it.
their overseas customer service they have cost them
David
a lot of
B.,
money.
It's a monopoly.
I don't understand.
It's definitely
It
not
is a
now because there's
monopoly.
not even hard tickets you can get anymore.
It's
because
bullshit.
they own Live Nation too.
Bullshit.
And
Have
they
you seen
also
Live
own-
Nation's fucking concert
They also
series?
own.
It's horrible.
They also own all the third party or the resale.
Yeah.
things. They also own. I don't understand.
That's
How
why you
come-
can't see certain bands at these
But why
things.
can't
'cause
just
they don't want-
venues? Why can't venues just put people in a box office and sell tickets that way or whatever?
It's because they bought all these theaters too, dude.
Oh.
I mean, they like. I mean, if you look at Ruoff Center's concert series, garbage. But if you go look at the circuit,
Garbage is coming to town.
no, not that band. I mean, it's like
I'll
you,
go.
you might as well. Not that kind of garbage.
Okay.
So it's just horrible.
Okay.
So if you go, there's a Columbus. Live Nation owns the Columbus event too, and it's the same concerts. It's the same people. So I looked in Colorado, like a lot of those artists that normally would play in Colorado are not playing, and it's all like the Lollapalooza circuit, playing at Red Rocks. just bands you don't, because I was going to go see the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
And then I look,
good.
and I'm like, one day, and they don't go through Ticketmaster, I don't think. So,
Okay.
and a lot of them are trying to get away from that. But I recently discovered that too, is why I wanted to bring it up. Bring up what I'm talking about on your subject is, it's a problem. It's a problem. So you could own Ruoff Center, but yet if you circuit through Live Nation, that's all you're going to get. You can't go, hey, Foo Fighters, just come and play Friday night and Saturday night, because they got all these contractual things in there. Like you can't go do that because you're on this circuit. So like the Foo Fighters are only doing like 7 or 8 shows that are all at these festivals, these 3-4 day festivals, which is fun, but there's none around here because they don't participate in that. So it's hard to see who you want to see anymore. It really is
Hard to see who you want to see at an affordable price.
that too.
That's just ridiculous.
It is.
I don't understand.
So and I'll give you. We went down to watch. My dad and I went down last year for I made a Big Ten tournament or something. Was in town, and we were there. The Casico, whatever it is now, the Pacer Stadium has a huge box office, and it's probably 10 people deep to buy. So typically when I buy tickets, I'll go straight to the box office, and I'll still buy them. Like Butler, I'll buy it at the box office. Even like the Colts, you could go, but now they still charge you the fee. They didn't do it before if you bought it from the place.
Yeah.
So I would save almost a whole ticket. So we're getting ready to buy them, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get on. So there's a couple different apps out there. One of them, a couple of them, they include the fees. And they're all resaled, but they include the fees. We're sitting there in line. I get a better ticket on that because because of all the seats with all the different teams there. Probably is the only reason. I got half price on my phone on the app because I avoided all those fees.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Because I was going to buy because you can buy all Ticketmaster online, but I'm like, see, that or we wait in the box office there because at that box office they don't charge you the Ticketmaster fee. But if you buy it on Ticketmaster online, it costs you.
Which is what I did. I mean, I had to get the app. You had to download the app on your phone, and then that was the only way that they would give you get you your ticket. It just seems like a dumb cost, and that cost. Those fees are exorbitant. There's no reason it should be $15+ a ticket.
Well, you're right, because we went and saw Mellencamp in February.
Did you?
Yeah,
Down at IU?
Bloomington. Yeah, it was outstanding. And
he was smoking on the stage, right?
yeah. He turned around and took some hits.
Did he? I thought he smoked cigarettes on the stage.
No, I saw him turn around toward the drummer and he took some hits, and then I think he might have vaped on stage now. But it was
Mellencamp's vaping.
I saw puffs of smoke come out. I didn't see a cigarette, so I was thinking it might have been a vape. But I got to tell you, man, that dude's 71 years old. I was always a Mellencamp fan, even in Illinois. I liked them, and it was a good concert. But David, to your point, he had 38 shows. They sold out in like 2 hours, so we got stuck up pretty high. I mean, these tickets were like, for Ann and I to go was like $300, man. I mean, to see 71-year-old John Cougar Mellencamp. You know?
There's a comedian that's coming through Clues Hall in March or May. I think it's in May, and they want $132 a ticket before fees.
I'm ridiculous,
like, no,
man.
absolutely not. Who can do that? And for those fees are I just don't understand how they can get away with that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's a complaint.
Highway robbery.
You got bands like Pearl Jam that won't deal with Ticketmaster, but still, yet you go to a Pearl Jam concert, you're still paying roughly the same price as you would pay through Ticketmaster. I think they just got all met because what you said earlier, the $12 billion, the worth of some of these companies that have,
aren't they the ones that are hot crap over the Taylor Swift concert?
Yeah. They were just had Senate hearings this week with Ticketmaster.
Right.
Here's my deal. I hate to say this. I'm a free market man. If some dumb body wants to pay $2,800 for a damn ticket, let them pay $2,800 damn dollars.
I get that.
I think it's stupid.
Understand.
Let the market dictate. Let no one. Everyone do not buy any tickets until she brings them down to $3 a ticket. Right. But because people pay anything for everything, it's
so
sad.
the artist dictates what the cost of the concert is, but they don't do it. But the fees, that's out of their hands.
That's out of their hands, and that's a good point because I recently looked this up because I was interested in it after that Mellencamp concert. The Foo Fighters will make $1.4 million a show. That's what they want. That's what they're getting.
Yeah.
1.2 million
in a 30,000
one
seat
show
arena, or how big?
average size 16 to 30,000. Yeah,
What?
That's what they're going to make. Dave Matthews will make 1.4 million both nights
in
each.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, he'll make 1.4
That
million.
is June 30th and July 1st. If you want to ask Matty Ice, he's a big follower, and he just got back from going to see him down there in Cancun.
Oh, did he?
did.
Okay, yeah.
But he saw David and Tim, right? Or did he?
Tim Reynolds?
No, I don't get into it.
Probably.
I don't know.
I'm not sure myself.
But yeah, I mean, so you're looking at, I mean, it's just, I don't know how people can afford it anymore. I mean, it's a lot of money.
It's because people are dumb. The market will talk if everyone quits buying it.
Well,
we love it too
I
much.
They all act like they hate Ticketmaster, but then yet they all jack up their rates too.
So Tim, when you get your season tickets through the Colts, are there fees added onto those to get your tickets, or is it just
Well, depends on the. How can I say this? There is fees now if you want hard copies, but you can't even use the hard copies now. It's just it's the general whatever. I don't know. I send my father money and then he handles it. So whatever. Typically, no. I think it is. The season ticket is. By the way, somehow the tickets went up this year too, but it's a flat rate. The Colts have gone to more of what you guys are talking about with the price hikes. So each ticket. So where I sit was the tickets were $134. This year they're $146 a piece. That's times 10 games. Right. So it's $1,460. So with that being said, each game was $146. But because no one wants to go to preseason, or you got these high profile, these Sunday night games or something like that, they've done these adjustments on the ticket value. So now preseason will show it's like $68 to go. Right. So people that are reselling it, they're not trying to get $200 for a preseason, saying that the face value is $146. Right. They're not saying I want face at $146. Now the face changes. And then that allows your scalpers that our primetime game like this year, I think like the Dallas Cowboys or something, was like $190 it said on the ticket face value. But you don't even get a ticket to show you the face value anymore. But it's $190 is what they advertise as the face value, so that scalper can get $300 versus it being $146, right?
Have you ever scalped a ticket?
Oh, I love scalping.
Oh yeah.
I've sold tickets, but not my Colts ticket scalping.
Best way to buy a ticket is to wait till the event starts.
Yeah, after.
And then
sure.
And then buy it. And then people are so desperate to get rid of them.
Yeah, I got 5 rows up to the Blackhawks.
Did you
2
really?
years ago. Yeah, they tried to screw me. I was drunk as can be. That's probably 8 years ago. He gave me one up in the nosebleed and one down 5 rows up, and I went off. I took 2 steps away. I'm like, hold on. I turned around. I went off. A couple other scalpers came up, and I'm like, I'm about to whoop this dude's butt. Like, either give me my money. Like I said, you take the tickets. Give me my money back. He didn't give me the other one to match up with it. We set 5 rows up on the glass in the corner. It was the greatest thing ever. I've been a Blackhawks fan ever since.
Yeah.
So what about your Colts? What are they going to do here, man?
They
should
should
trade up because the Bears are going to act like they want to get rid of Fields.
They ain't good.
And they're not going to, but they got to do that to get the Colts to make the deal.
No, here's what they needed. So they got 1 or 2 options. It depends if they think. It depends on if they think that one of these quarterbacks is the next franchise quarterback.
He wants Bryce, is what he's acting like.
So whatever, if they think that is it, and they think Houston may take that same quarterback, then they have to. Because the problem is if they don't, and it ends up being the best franchise quarterback, and you have to play against that person twice a year in your same division, and you failed to make that move, then you look like a complete idiot.
Well, you know what a lot are saying in Chicago now, right?
What's that?
Starting to hear these talks. I got buddies back there. They're saying that go ahead and draft him, number 1. Now we got 2 number 1 quarterbacks. Trade the one you want.
Yeah.
Package them up and trade them. Then you'll end up getting 2 future round picks.
Or do you go after, or do you trade back and get a defensive rusher? Yeah,
I think if you're the Bears, what you really want, Tim, is you want to trade for that first round pick. But you are going to have to act like Justin Fields because all these rumors are coming out. He wants a dome. He don't want to play outside, all this stuff, right? So it's like the fans are kind of like, but I think some of this is conjured up internal stuff to draw somebody into making that trade. Because if you're the Colts and you don't act like you want them, well, the Bears, If you act like you don't want that first round pick, what would behoove the Colts to make a trade? And it's dangerous for the Colts to sit there and say, well, he'll be available. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd give you guys Jonathan Taylor. That's what I do. I said, let's swap
that would
one
hurt
for
the Colts, though.
No, Jonathan Taylor has only 1 year left on his contract.
Oh, he does.
So you guys get him at a bargain, but the thing is, he's going to want to be paid after that. You know, running backs don't last that long. And I love John. I think Jonathan Taylor's the baddest back there is. I think he was a steal of a draft. But I would trade him and my third round pick and swap my 1 and 4s that they take. I don't know what they do. I heard Kenny Moore. You guys can have Kenny Moore. Take him. He's yours. I hate Kenny Moore. Not hate. I just have never cared for Kenny Moore. He always gets burnt. But the Bears can say, hey, well, obviously no one wants Fields because the Bears would already put him up on the block, right? And everyone knows that Fields could, quote unquote, be available.
I think he's questionable as a quarterback, though.
And that's so that you got to ask yourself as
I
the
don't like
Bears.
him actually anymore. I've turned on him.
Well,
I've turned on him. You want a dome in Chicago, you wussy? It's like, come on, man. You're not a freaking Chicago Bear football. Get the shit out of here. Go play in Atlanta, screwed up freaking dome and ruin the rest of your life. I don't care. I mean, I'm done with him. I hope they trade him. I really do.
There you go. You heard it here.
Yep.
Colts, don't take him. I don't mind him. I think he's come a long way.
He has.
He's come a long way.
He's kind of slow on his deliveries. He's kind of, he's... some of those sacks, a quarter of those sacks are probably his fault. Go ahead, David.
Well, no, my timing is off now. You guys are like, he's slow on his deliveries, and I wanted to say just like both of your companies, but I'm like, all right, it's too late now, so I'm doing good.
It's a rim shot.
Why you got to talk like that on a Saturday morning? We've had a great show, right? And you got to end it with, just like you guys are on your deliveries.
Boom.
I can handle facts.
Listening to the
I can handle facts.
Podcast. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, David, anything else?
I don't know. That was it. Just
that random thought took off.
That just has always bothered me. Always has bothered me. I mean, that's why I like going to the smaller.
For $9.95.
That's why I like going to the smaller venue things where you're not getting gouged or at least up front it doesn't seem.
I wonder
like
what if they came out with a subscription model? Would you pay for the subscription model? Like at Amazon, what if you paid $100 a year? And then
does Ruoff do that? What is that? What is that?
You talking about the ticket?
Tim or does Matt? I think Matt gets the season pass or something.
No, you're talking about the Summerfest ticket or whatever.
Yeah, what is that? Do you know what that is?
That's a bunch of country concerts. Matty Ice would not be involved in that.
So you don't save any money. You don't think doing that?
Yeah, but you're buying a bunch of lawn tickets, but you're getting every concert, so you're getting some of the non stuff too. So they lower some of the. I don't know. I'm talking about the fee itself in general.
If there's a fee, I don't mind. I mean, maybe I'm. Just that it
should be like $4.95 a ticket.
But there we go.
So what they do is they do like 10 or 15% or 20% of the ticket value. So if you bought a $300 ticket, now you've got a $60 fee versus if you bought a $30 ticket, you have a $6 fee. So they do a percentage, which is absolutely insane. They should do a flat fee, $9.95 per purchase. And whether you pick 6 tickets or whatever, but like Tony said, they want to make that mill.
Or again, why can't you just have some old lady, not to be whatever, but just some gal sitting in the box office and line of people wanted to buy tickets.
I was just going to say, Tim's generation may have missed out on this, but our generation, Wrigley Field was mandated by Major League Baseball to have, I think, 8,000 seats available for the general public to walk up and buy. And that maintained until like maybe the late 80s. And then because I remember as a kid.
That's brilliant, though. It keeps ticket prices down.
Dude, it was huge because here's what would happen. But you'd have the scalpers go buy. You could only buy a maximum, I think, of 6 tickets. They limited you at 6 to 8. So what you could do, this is a true story. So one day, it was a Saturday morning. My dad woke up. I woke up. My dad's like, "You want to go to the Cubs game?" It's like 1:05. I'm like, sure. Like you couldn't do that today.
Right.
So then we just drove right down to the ticket booth, got box seats, and it was like $20.
It was the only kind of game you could see was a day game back in the day.
Yeah.
They didn't have night games.
It was the Dodgers too.
Oh, you guys were around when electricity and light bulbs were around. Come on, you're not that old.
Quick trivia thing. The first ballpark to have lights installed.
I think we've done this already. Is it Wrigley?
Wrigley Field. During World War II, they ripped all the lighting out because it was already wired lighting and gave it to the aircraft carriers, donated it to the aircraft carriers. Yeah, because they didn't have enough time to do all the wiring.
Yeah.
If we're not careful, we may be back into that same scenario.
Kaboom, baby!
Yes.
I know. David, anything else?
No. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. If you go on YouTube, smash that like button, click subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us a thought about how we're doing, good or bad. Try to keep it as positive as possible if you would.
Look for us to go live here. So we're throwing that out there for the 100s. We're maybe going live at some time somehow. We don't know yet.
I will be at the Mid-America Truck Show March 31st and April 1st. So
I'll be on the beach in my Speedo with my belly hanging out.
Yummy.
I think I'm be in Florida. Out.
We out. Hit the stop button though.